The train, for its type, is the most powerful vehicle on land. And the engines of Sodor are the power behind the docks, industries and branch lines that make up the world-renowned Northwestern Railway. These are the stories of Sodor. Several months had passed since the mid-Sodor engines arrived on the Skarloey Railway, and as I said last time, they adapted to their new home splendidly, giving the SKR a boost to its performance. However, I did gloss over the reality of the situation leading up to this relocation. I made it seem like the SKR bought the MSR chaps and all was well, but like anything business-related, it's never that simple. After leaving his engines that night, Sir Handel attended a meeting with several bank executives. The MSR had taken out a sizable loan to stay afloat, and now it needed to be repaid. An easy way this debt could have been erased would have been if Sir Handel sold his engines. The MSR's owner was extremely reluctant to do this, and told the executives he would have to think about it. The next day, a miracle happened. Sir Handel's longtime friend and owner of the Skarloey Railway, Mr. Peter Sam, said he was in need of some extra engines and rolling stock to support his growing company. So, he bought all of the MSR's locomotives as well as several trucks and coaches. Sir Handel was able to use this money to pay off the debt. Once this was done, the relocation effort began. It took a long time for this to be completed, as transporting any number of railway assets of any size requires a lot of planning and care. During this period, Wilbert returned to Sodor. He spoke to several of the MSR's engines and even brainstormed a few story ideas with them, several of which the good Reverend would publish many years later. Though it should go without saying they were all purely fictional. It wasn't until June of 1955 that the entire MSR fleet was finally transferred. Jump ahead to late November of that year, and this is where our story starts. No wonder you lads were experiencing such rapid growth. How long has the lucky lamp been knocking about here? I don't know. I hadn't seen it until today. I swear we didn't pinch it. I didn't think you had. But it's a good thing it is here. If it hadn't been, who knows where we may have ended up? I have to ask, Stuart, would you have let yourself be sold had Mr. Sam not bought you and the others? I haven't actually thought about that. Maybe. If it helped pay off Sir Handel's debt, I think I would have owed that to him. I'm just glad we have the right to choose. For now. What do you mean? There have been rumours going around Parliament might be about to revoke our rights. What on earth for? The same old argument that we're simply machines and all that bollocks. What rubbish! Who are these people and why does anyone pay them any attention? At any rate, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Since Attlee's resigned as leader of the Labour Party, they'll be too busy with that to worry about us. You're right. Labour will be scrounging to find a replacement, and the Conservatives will exploit this leadership clash to no end. I wonder how many policies will be allowed to lapse during this time. Sir Handel had an old saying about politicians. They have only two priorities, staying in office and bad-mouthing the opposition. How very true. I must be seeing things. Me too. Snow? I can't remember the last time it fell this early. I don't think it ever has. Ugh, I can already hear Duncan's whinging. All things considered, the SKR's number 6 would have been right to complain. As I've mentioned numerous times in the past, winter is not a particularly welcome time of year due to the many problems it brings. This year was especially difficult. Not only did the season bring with it the usual ice and snow, but also a very thick and very persistent fog. And being on an island meant very few places on Sodor were free from it. During the day it was bad enough, but at night it was terrible. More than a few trains had to be cancelled, and the ones that did run were absurdly slow, as we obviously had to curtail our speed due to the poor visibility. Making things that much more awkward was 1955 marked the 18th anniversary since Arthur's ghost vanished, and long periods of fog have a way of conjuring up old stories and legends. And every year around the time of the accident, it stalked the lines of Sodor, plunging into the night, shrieking like a lost soul. Are you having us on, Henry? A wee bit. Yes, very amusing, Henry. But in all seriousness, what was the ghost like? I don't know. I never actually saw it. My impression has been the engine itself wasn't really terrifying, just unsettling. It certainly didn't help that some poor dear lost her mind after looking inside one of its coaches. Any idea what she saw? None. There have been all sorts of theories, ranging from the ghosts of the deceased passengers to demons and other more grotesque possibilities. That's very disturbing. And Mr. Zorro got rid of it? Aye, with a polite chat if you can believe it. No rituals, no exorcisms. He told the ghost he could go, and off he went. How very obliging. Is it rather morbid of me to say I wish I had seen the spectre up close? A little bit. But I get where you're coming from, Geoffrey. I wouldn't have mind taking a gander just to know. What's so funny? I just remembered what happened the day after the ghost disappeared. We were at the shed and James asked what it looked like. Lily said it kind of resembled Thomas, to which he said, "You mean it was wickedly handsome?" That's what I like most about Thomas, his unrelenting sense of humour. Careful not to say that when Kate is around, Samantha. I hear she's the jealous type. Well, it's been great chatting with you two, but I have to go. The flying kipper's not going to take itself. Night, Henry. Have a safe run. Shunted? Why on earth have we been shunted? The signalman said it was to allow another train to pass. Did he say what it was? No, only that it was the only other one scheduled to run through this way. Once it's passed, we can go. Bother. We were making such good time too. Is it just me, or does something always seem to happen every time we take the kipper? You hear that? Must be the train. Sounds rather small. Maybe it's one of the Farquhar boys running solo. Or not. Who was that? I don't know. I can barely see your boiler through this fog. Well, it looked like a tank engine pulling a brake van, but I didn't see any numbers, or even a face. That's odd. Come on then, we should be clear to go. We'll ask about that engine when we reach Barrow. Very strange. Very, very strange. Are you sure it was faceless, Henry? To be honest, no. I couldn't see much of it, but I'm pretty sure it was black. Well, nothing like that came through here. What did they say at Barrow? Nothing. They said no trains had gone out that night because of the fog. Now that I think about it, it's amazing I was allowed to take the kipper at all. It was an important delivery, Henry, which makes me realize the train you saw must have had a higher priority. A single tank engine hauling a brake van? I would say that's unlikely, but since it happened, clearly not. Somehow I get the feeling we're in for an unusual winter. All I'm saying is Britain should pay attention to what's going on in South Vietnam. Why? It's no concern of ours. If it's the result of communist insurgency, I beg to differ. Even if you're right, our involvement isn't going to make things any better. I refer you to Korea as proof. Can you please focus, James? Don't panic, Andrew. Even in this fog, I know these rails like the back of my buffers. What in fizzling fireboxes? What are we doing in a siding? Maybe the points were frozen. That'd be right. Just once, I'd like to be able to take a train. That noise! Might be the wind. No, I've heard that before. Oh no, please don't be... What's that? Did I just hear a train go by? If these flipping trucks weren't in the way, I might have seen it. I caught a glimpse of it. What did it look like, Colleen? A black tank engine pulling a brake van. Isn't that what Henry saw? Sure sounds like it. Just like the noise I heard sounded a lot like Dominic when he was lurking about. You think he's come back? Why? I don't know, but we should be careful. If that spiteful sod wants to torment us, he's got another thing coming. Oh dear. So now we've had 2 sightings. Yes, sir. Not exactly what the ministry was hoping for, but exactly what you and I said would happen. Perhaps we should consider telling the others what's going on. Would that we could, Edward, but we can't. I know this operation is predicated on secrecy, Sir Topham, but the minister has to know if there are any more sightings, the word covert isn't going to mean much. Ministers have a knack for remaining ignorant, even in the face of overwhelming facts. Do we just let this play out, sir? No choice. I'll do my best to alter the schedules to minimize sightings. With any luck, we should be able to keep this situation from escalating. I dare say the lucky lamp has got its work cut out this time.
Well, look what we've got here. Hello, Ducky.
Don't call me Ducky, Diesel.
Sorry, Ducky. What are you doing here?
Delivering a special train to Sodor. I have to take this lot to Wellsworth.
What's so special about it? Is it holding eggs you've laid?
I'll never forgive myself for what I'm about to say next. Diesel, I need your help. Are you done?
Wait, you serious?
Yes, I need your help getting to Wellsworth.
What for? You've been there before.
Not for a long time, Diesel, and I know Vickerstown has gotten an overhaul, and in this fog, having a guide would be really useful.
I thought the Great Western Way meant you didn't need help.
The Great Western Way is all about knowing when to ask for help.
Okay, Ducky, I'll help you out, but you have to do something for me.
What sort of something?
I don't know yet. Let's just say you owe me a favor.
What? Forget it! I'd rather owe a favor to Stalin than you.
Suit yourself. No skin off my nose. Have fun hanging out in the fog.
You weasel!
I love being me. What's that? It looked like fisting fuses. It's back!
What are you doing back here?
Ah! Duck!
What's the matter with you? You sound like you're going through puberty.
Don't be ridiculous, Duck.
Me? You're the one who just flew in here like he's seen a ghost.
Maybe I did.
What? You know what? It doesn't matter. I have to get this train to Sodor, and I need to get it there tonight. So fine. Take me there, and I'll owe you a favor.
No, Duck. Don't worry about that. I'd be happy to escort you to Wellsworth.
You would?
Of course, my friend. We're British Railways now. We have to help each other out.
All right. I don't know who you are or what you've done with Diesel, but I'll take your offer. In fact, I've just thought of a way I can repay the favor.
How?
I won't tell the others you squealed like a little girl just now.
Grrr. Fine.
Now that's what I call the Great Western Way.
Face it, Percy, we're lost. How can that be? Because we don't know where we are.
Thomas, it's not like we took the wrong road. We can only go where the lines take us. And since we just crossed a river down from a bridge, I say we're on the loop.
Which we shouldn't be.
We're supposed to be travelling along the main line. Maybe the signalman made a mistake, or maybe there was something wrong with the points. Whatever the reason, I don't see this as a problem. I reckon we're about 500 yards away from Mongrel McColl's old farm. If we find that, we'll get our bearings. I'm just not keen about travelling down a line we aren't meant to be on in the dead of night in a thick fog. How do we know another train isn't meant to be coming down the other way? Good point. Maybe we should go ahead and check. Sounds like a plan. Let's go. Thomas, what do you make of this rumour that Arthur's ghost has come back? I might believe it if Diesel hadn't been the one to say that. Yeah, he's not really trustworthy, but why would he lie about something like that? Search me. He's done some pretty sick things in the past. I wouldn't put anything by him. Alright, I believe him. Fizzling fireboxes! What's going on? Why's the ground on fire? It looks like... Thomas, you don't think that's hell, do you? I don't want to find out! Scarpa! Of course. After being terrorized by ghosts, why wouldn't the devil come swanning in? What do we do? Repent by the sound of it. There isn't enough time in the universe for you to do that, Diesel. Shut your gob, Thomas. All right, chaps, settle down. No need to go into a tizzy. Edward, there is plenty of cause to go into a tizzy. Arthur's flipping ghost is back, and the gates of hell might be about to open up. No, James, they're not. And the engine you've all seen isn't Arthur's ghost. How do you know? Because I was at Fort Sudrian the day it arrived. The engine is very real, and it's taking part in a Ministry of Defense trial called Operation White Fleet. Which is what exactly? I don't know. The specifics are classified. Both Sir Topham and I were sworn to secrecy, which is why we couldn't tell you sooner. The only reason I'm allowed to discuss it now is because the project failed. How so? The engine broke down last night. They had to dump its fire, which is what you two saw, burning coals steaming in the snow. What about the sounds I heard at Marin? I can't explain that, old chap, but since no one has spotted Dominic skulking about, I would have to say it was the wind. Why'd they conduct the trial here? They wanted to take advantage of this fog. They figured it would provide good cover. But since you lot saw it, obviously not. I don't believe it. You mean I embarrassed myself in front of Duck because the government wanted to test its new toy? How'd you embarrass yourself, Diesel? What? Forget I said anything. Come on, Diesel. Out with it. No. You know what? We don't need him. We can just ask Duck the next time he pops by. Don't you dare! The chaps had a lot of fun ripping into Diesel as they tried to get him to talk. I was grateful for this, as it distracted from my worrisome expression. While everything I had said was true, I have to admit it was true as far as I knew. The explanation you just heard is what Sir Topham and myself were told by the Minister of Defence himself the day the engine arrived at Fort Sudrian. We were instructed to perpetuate this obvious cover story if the need arose. That same day, I was questioned by some people. They didn't say who they were or where they were from. They just asked me a lot of questions about Sodor's supernatural history. I told them about the various ghosts as well as the lucky lamp. They thanked me and left. I never saw them again, but the organization they represented would indeed have a part to play in Sodor's future. But I'll save that for the appropriate time. I'm pleased to say the fog lifted a few days later and life returned to normal. Christmas came and went and the new year was fast approaching. Britain's railways had experienced some incredible changes this past decade and more were yet to come. Some more revolutionary than others. But those are stories for another day.